he told the players when they're in the tunnel to give them a bunch of flowers but wrapped in barbed wire. I go back into the dressing room after the game. All the players are there singing "Sadhguru, Sadhguru, Sadhguru."
I went and spoke to the Everton Football Club. Is anybody following English Premier League? Huh? So that's the best leagues in the world, English Premier League, highest quality. The best players play there. Now the Spanish league is getting much better, but still English league is, in terms of talent, it's great. So, the last time when I was in Birmingham, a young man attended the program, not the program, just a talk, an evening talk.
So I didn't know anything about Sadhguru, I'd never heard of him until the day before. And then, just before it's about to speak, this energy just came into the room, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And he's standing there, this guy, this incredible guy, and he starts speaking. So I went home and he was an incredible speaker, as you know. Incredible energy. And it really had a big effect on me. And so the next day I'm thinking, right, I'd love to get him in to speak to the players. Sadhguru is a big football fan and a big sports fan, as you know. So he agreed to come in and speak to the players. And I was so excited. So the next morning, it was a Saturday, he was coming in to kind of meet the players and watch training. And all of a sudden, I started to get very nervous. Normally, I don't feel stressed, but I was very stressed and nervous. And the moment that I saw him, the feeling of panic that I had completely dissolved, and I felt completely at ease and at peace. And that's part of the impact that Sadhguru has on people.
So they took me to the Everton Football Club and they want me to speak to the boys. They're stars in their own right. The moment you enter a professional football league, you are a star in your own right because there's a certain talent there. Then with a couple of boys, I kicked the ball around a bit and then I was to talk to them.
And he had his sandals on and his flowing robes, and he was out there kicking the ball around with Jack Rodwell, and it was just a very funny sight and funny experience to have this Indian guru here kicking a ball around with Premiership footballers. So that night it was at the team hotel in Formby. We're about to play Liverpool in the derby the next day, and we'd not beaten Liverpool for years.
So I went and they were training. So when the football clubs train, they're under the manager's whip and it's very rigid and things are going through paces because the next day they're playing a big game, a very big game with Liverpool. Liverpool has really fabulous stars. Torres, Virat. These are kind of people who can change a game individually, single-handed. The manager is putting them through the paces and the usual things and running up and down. They don't want to put them through too much stress. The previous day, they're just enough to keep them limbered up. So I went there, I said, I just want to be there and observe, and I was just there.
So he comes into the room in his robes, and the players are sat there, and I noticed immediately that the players, all of a sudden, they just got this, like they calmed. Normally a lot of them can't sit still, but they completely sat still and were completely present and calm, and peace kind of came into the room. It was an incredible experience.
And from being okay to slowly they became like this, because they thought some religious preaching is going to come. I just asked them a simple questions and made them look at life in a certain way, look at the game in a certain way. I'm not trying to teach them soccer. They know how to play soccer. But how to keep yourself? Just this an hour and a half talk. Next day, I had special pass to go and sit in the box for the game. And I went and sat for the game.
And one thing I remember is he told the players when they're in the tunnel and regarding the opposition is to give them a bunch of flowers but wrapped in barbed wire. And I won't go into what he meant by that, but it always stuck with me, and I know it stuck with the players as well.
One of their stars is Tim Carey. Tim Carey is from Australia, and I saw this boy was just sitting there like this. I said, today when you enter the field, say nice things to the Liverpool players. He looked shocked, say nice things to them. I said, he's a forward. So I said, particularly go to the goalkeeper and say nice things to him. He looked like this, I said, yes, you do this and see. And I said, find out something about the goalkeeper's life. They said he had a daughter 3 months ago. I said, go and ask how his little daughter is doing. Just do it. And if he thinks it's a friendly, in his mind, for a moment if he becomes friendly with you and slackens down for a moment of slackness is what you need. That's all the game is. And the first goal he scored. And I saw him actually patting, when they were introducing, he not only shook the hand, he went to the goalkeeper and he tapped him on his chest and said something nice. And within 20 minutes he scored the first goal. They scored one more. And they dominated the whole game right through, which was a huge surprise, headlines in all the newspapers next day, they won 2-0.
I go back into the dressing room after the game, all the players are there singing Sadhguru, Sadhguru, Sadhguru. And it was one of the best days of my life. And that evening on Match of the Day was just starting and it was just panning around, and it comes on to Sadhguru because he had the Everton shirt on that Jags had given him. And the commentator goes, here's an interesting gentleman.
It is just that constantly Liverpool means you're overpowered, overwhelmed by the reputation of the big players there. Nobody's reputation is going to win any game or any situation anywhere. How you conduct this situation is how it's going to work. I have a great reputation, but tomorrow you can make a fool of yourself, isn't it, if you don't conduct it properly? So reputations are to be respected when you walk on the street, never to be respected or even considered when you are actually in the situation or the game.
So the impact that Sadhguru had on the players was huge, and he gave them meditation techniques like Isha Kriya, and I know that several of them still do it today, and several of them still follow Sadhguru, his talks, and he's a huge inspiration. And hopefully when this pandemic ends, that we'll be able to get him back in here and he can help a new generation of footballers succeed.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the Republic Media Network. On your screens now, you've known him as a yogi, a mystique, and today joining me is Sadhguru. He's on a mission. Today you're seeing him in a biker's gear because he has one message. He's joining us after driving for over 3,000 kilometers on a motorbike over the last 2 weeks, and he has a message. Today Sadhguru is telling all of us, Cauvery is calling. Do you have the heart to hear? Thank you, Sadhguru, for joining us on the Republic Media Network. First of all,
thank you.
Your
Namaskaram.
Enthusiasm and your positive energy and the mission that you're going ahead with when it comes to saving our rivers. Tell our viewers about it.
We need to understand this. The most fundamental mistake that most people have in their perception is that most people think river is a source of water or a lake or a well is a source of water. No, rivers, lakes, ponds and wells are not sources of water, they are only destinations for water. The only source of water we have is monsoon rain, we must understand this. So the volume of rain that is being showered upon this subcontinent in the last 100 years has not changed much. The patterns have changed but the volume has not really changed. So our ability to hold water in the land is what has been lost. This loss has happened mainly because of the removal of vegetation, largely tree cover that's been taken away. For example, in Cauvery Basin, 87% of the tree cover has been removed in the last 50 years. So our ability to sequester and augment the water resource in the groundwater and in the rivers and the aquifers has been lost completely. So putting this back, how is it possible? Because right now the only real landowner who has large amount of land, which is nearly 80% of the land, is the farmer. So unless the farmer grows trees, it is not going to work. Why would he grow trees when he is in a desperate condition where a whole lot of them are committing suicide, thousands of them? When this is the condition, you can't tell him, save the river, save the country, save the world, this kind of preaching. So, Cauvery calling is an economic plan. For the last 18 years, we converted nearly 70,000 farmers into agroforestry, and we have seen that within 5 to 7 years, their incomes go up 300 to 800%. I'm repeating this, 300 to 800%, 3 to 8 times over. But we are right now in the process of converting 3 to 5,000 farmers per year. If we go like this, it would take 80 to 100 years. As I'm not planning to live that long, I decided we will crush this 100 years into 12 years, and that is Cauvery calling, to make sure that at least 1/3 of the land is under shade and under cultivation, because if we want to enrich the soil, there are only two sources for us: the leaves from the trees and the animal waste. Trees are gone long time ago, and as you know, animals are all migrating or rather being transported to other countries. So there's no animal waste, there's no tree leaf, there's no way to enrich the soil. We are trying to largely grow crops with salts or fertilizers, and that is the biggest damage that's happened to the land. We have to put back green cover to enrich our soil. This is about the soil.
Yes.
If we enrich the soil, if it's organically rich, then water sequestering will naturally happen and rivers will flow once again.
Yes.
This is not some rocket science, this is something that we always knew and lost it in the last 50 years.
Sadhguru, you spoke about the first stakeholder who's a part of this entire campaign. You've spoken about the farmers. We know that the entire Cauvery calling campaign, there is no doubt in the fact of the benefits that will have for our environment and for our future generations. But when we talk about farmers, and you also spoke about the economics of it, did it take any kind of convincing, especially when you're out on a bike rally through the Cauvery Basin, speaking to a lot of people? What did it take for you to bring farmers to join your movement?
See, one thing is, in southern India, particularly in Tamil Nadu, there is an enormous trust in the farm community with me, and I know what I say, and they know very well what I say is for their well-being. There is no politics behind it or some other motive. So that trust has translated into action. As I said, over 70,000 farmers have benefited in the last 18 years of this project. But the pace at which we are going is not good enough. And one reason why the farmer does not want to grow a tree is, even in his own land, if he grows a tree and cuts it, most probably he will be arrested for that. And there is a whole lot of activism in the country which if he cuts a tree in his land, people will come and protest, lodge complaints against him. These kind of things have been happening. I'm asking, why would a poor farmer grow something that he cannot make use of? So we have been working with the governments, both with the central government and the two state governments, to change these laws. We are in the process of setting up a timber board where timber must be treated as an agricultural produce, not as a forest produce. India's forests are an absolute no-no for commercial exploitation. Commercial exploitation of our forest is history. We cannot do that anymore. If we want timber, we have to grow it in the farmland, and this is very, very lucrative for the farmer, and also it works for the government because in many ways it solves various problems that the government has with the farm distress, and it'll work for the larger public and for the nation because it'll enrich the soil and sequester water. To what extent means, for example, right now we are talking about 242 crore trees to be planted in Cauvery Basin. If we plant this many trees, when they are 8 to 12 years old, they can sequester something like 9 to 12 trillion liters of water. To give you a perspective of what is 12 trillion liters of water, right now the present flow of Cauvery throughout the year is 21.2 trillion liters. So more than 60% of the water that's flowing in the river can be sequestered. Now Cauvery is not just one river, it is a river system of over 120 tributaries coming in. These tributaries have dried up in a massive way, and Cauvery itself is not touching the ocean for more than 5 months. What was a perennial river for millions of years has become a seasonal river in the last 15 years.
Yes. Sadhguru, as you talk about this, I see the counter right in front of me. You spoke about how 242 crore trees, that's your mission, and I see that counter going up by every minute now. There are over 3 crore 83 lakh 92,000, and as we speak, it's touched 852 trees that have been contributed. Sadhguru, a lot is spoken about the youth today, especially who are known as the millennials. They have been in the debate recently as well. Today, when you take out a bike, when you go out to spread a message that will do good for future generations, what is the kind of response you get from the younger generation? How does it feel when you lead a bike rally and with you there are thousands and thousands of youngsters who follow you as you take this mission ahead?
One reason why we chose to get back on the motorcycles, it's been more than 30 years since I got off the motorcycle. There was a time when I crisscrossed India on the motorcycles, but it's been over 30 years now. So why I got back on the motorcycle now is mainly to touch the youth, because you know, the youth of India need to get involved in this, otherwise this is not going to happen. Right now, the farmer is very enthusiastic. Both the governments are willing to do what is needed. Both of them have promised that they will give the necessary subsidy and make the changes in the laws which will allow a farmer to grow, fell, transport and sell his timber product wherever he wants, whichever way he wants. So once this happens, agroforestry will grow not just in Cauvery Basin, it will grow everywhere in the country and in the tropical world. In the last in 9th and 10th of this month, I was at the COP14, and I find enormous enthusiasm at United Nations about Cauvery calling, and they all think it's the most fantastic thing to be done, and they're looking forward that this works. So there is support from United Nations, all the organizations in UN, and only thing now missing is we need to raise 242 crore saplings.
Right.
Growing quality saplings is a challenge. We have ourselves set up 35 nurseries which have been operating for over a decade now. Now we are planning to set up another 350 nurseries. Apart from this, we want to train over 10,000 farmers to raise nurseries, because nursery raising itself can become a very lucrative business for the farmer.
Right.
But when the farmer raises these saplings, we must have the economic power to buy back these saplings and redistribute for agroforestry. That is why this fundraising. I don't know, you said a number of 3 crore something. The last time I saw the counter, it was 4 crore 27 lakh something. I don't know what counter they provided you, but anyway, it is around that much. And the best thing is the contributions are coming. Till now, they have come from about 112 countries from across the world.
You spoke about, like you were telling us, the growing of saplings. We know that the government, you have immense support, there is support from the government when it comes to this movement. But like you said, the biggest challenge is of the growing of saplings. What kind of support, are you seeking any support from the government when it comes to this aspect of the campaign? Or is there any support that's also coming in from the government?
The Karnataka government said that they have little over 2.3 crore saplings in their nurseries, and they dedicated 2 crore saplings for Cauvery calling. Tamil Nadu government had some 1.5 or something, they dedicated 1 crore. Those numbers, I think the Tamil Nadu numbers which just came today evening have not been added to the counter, so it is well over 5 crores right now.
Right.
Plus a group of people who are with us for an event in Erode, in a town in Tamil Nadu. These people, because they're all big landholders, when I appealed to them, they said they will grow 5 crore saplings in the next 5 years. Every year they will offer 1 crore saplings to the Cauvery calling, and they've promised they will do it. Just now, an MP from Tamil Nadu, He said they are big landowners themselves.
Right.
He said he will dedicate 1 crore saplings. So these promises are coming. We need to translate this with the right kind of action because our teams are fanning out right now. We have organized 45 vans which have been going around. They have covered over 7,000 villages right now in Cauvery basin. These vans are fitted with LED screens as to how to grow agroforestry, what are the mechanics of it, what is the economics of it, how they can benefit, what are the different formats in which they can do this. This education is happening. Till now we have covered 7,000 villages and it will continue because even for sapling raising a healthy sapling is something that needs to happen.
Yes.
Because commercial farms we cannot buy because they're putting lot of urea and growing it, their survival rate will be very, very poor. So we are growing them organically, that makes a big difference.
Sadhguru, I'd like to ask you a larger question. Today there is energy of positivity in our country, be it our Chandrayaan mission, the way our scientists are always striving, or be it this campaign that you're leading today, when you've taken out a bike rally where you're traveling the length and breadth of 2 states to spread the message. When it comes to the kind of narrative that is built about the country, there are some who always try to paint this negative picture about the country. To them, what is your message, especially coming at a time when there are people in this country who just want to strive for the betterment of the country, be it our scientists or be it someone like you who's doing it for the farmers and also for the future generations of this country?
See, unfortunately, this is there, but I think we should not pay too much attention to them. Such people are there. Now the choice is just this: do you want to find solutions for the problems that we have, or do you want to find problems in the solutions that we have? This is the choice we have. Some people unfortunately think it's very intelligent to invest in finding problems. Thanks to them that we know what the problems are, but I think our problems are very clear. It is in finding solutions that we need to invest our energies and intelligence. I hope more and more people will work for solutions in the local areas wherever they are.
Right.
And that is how our country can move forward.
Absolutely. On that note, Sadhguru, your last message, especially to a larger, to a larger audience who's today watching us, how do you think they can come and step in to join you in this campaign, the Cauvery Calling campaign?
See, when I say 242 crore saplings, people eyeballs roll because they think it's too big a number. But what I'm saying is our population is about 130 crores.
Right.
That means if all of us plant if we raise 2 saplings, the job is done. 2 saplings in 3-4 years' time is not even a challenge for anybody. But as you mentioned certain people, there are a whole lot of people who won't do anything, so we have to plant for them. So I openly told everybody who gives a negative commentary, I will plant 10 trees for each one of them.
Thank you so much.
What else to do?
And that's
there are people who won't do anything, we need to plant for them. I would like to say this to you, in Chennai they told me that there are some beggars who are earning 3.5 to 4 lakhs per year. That is their income. It looks like an attractive profession. So, our volunteers are going about enrolling them now that they must contribute because people's contribution is making their life.
Right.
They must contribute 1 sapling per week. So, all the Chennai beggars, if they do 1 sapling per week, everybody else, all the Republic TV watchers must decide how much they should do. This is not about me, this is not about a particular organization, this is a generational work.
Absolutely.
It is time that we as a generation prove that we are a responsible generation.
Yes, thank you so much, Sadhguru, for speaking to us. And we know this has been a very, very long journey for you when it comes to the campaign, and also riding 3,000 kilometers, above 3,000 kilometers across 2 states, not an easy thing. Thank you so much. I'm going to take back that one message that you leave us with is, for every person who spreads negativity, I'm going to plant 10 saplings on their behalf. Thank you, Sadhguru, for speaking to Republic TV.
Thank you. Namaskar.